Bro, only tweets, post, stream, so pathetic. Yes, I'm a chud ass loser, bro. I just tweet. My life is pathetic. Okay. Threads is owned by Mark Zuckerberg. You know, I mean, that's the Instagram, Twitter equivalent, who also is pro MAGA, right? And very pro Israel. Elon Musk is pro MAGA and pro Israel. He owns Twitter. And TikTok is now owned by the Ellisons, which is also pro MAGA and pro-Israel. Why am I talking about this? Am I talking about this specifically because this is going to be yet another broadcast where I talk about, oh my God, people are attacking me. That sucks. No, that's not the reason. The reason why I'm talking about this is because I watched this TikTok last night and it fried my brain. And it didn't fry my brain. It rather zapped me back into consciousness where something clicked. This content creator perfectly demonstrates what I've been feeling, what I've been thinking. This TikTok perfectly demonstrates what is going on.
Have become so conservative and you don't even know it. Like, you're not even aware of the fact that you're spouting conservative talking points, you're spouting conservative propaganda, you're interacting with conservative creators, you're interacting with conservative run smear campaigns against other creators. Like, I feel like I've fallen into an alternate timeline where everybody just stopped thinking. You all just stopped thinking. Well, maybe Jules LeBron should have handled her money better. Okay, I still think she deserves to ask for help. I still think there's literally nothing morally wrong with coming online and asking for help with medical bills. Do you think there is? Well, yeah, because she's asking her minimum wage her fans that work minimum wage job. Yeah, that's how crowdfunding works. You donate $1 or you don't, and you scroll and you don't have to donate anything.
I have no idea what this lady is talking about. Okay, listen, you don't even have to know what she's talking about to completely understand the underlying concept. The concept that she's addressing is this newfound phenomena amongst people, especially Gen Z, that get their notes online, who don't realize that they're actually being duped into taking conservative positions, okay? A lot of people get flamed or agitated through clip culture by conservatives and very right-wing algorithms owned by pro-MAGA billionaires who I think are deliberately doing this into taking reactionary positions without realizing it. There are a lot of people who are self-identifying like liberals, self-identifying wokes, self-identifying leftists, who end up getting manipulated into doing the bidding of the right wing.
Oh, well, Drew Offwallow said on a podcast that, yeah, that's a clip that was posted by a conservative podcast from a year ago. It's a targeted smear campaign, and you all fell for it. You're all falling for it. Oh my God. Well, Nara Smith isn't actually a trad wife, and like she's actually not a trad, and she was never a trad wife because she always was making her own money. Okay, yeah, it's propaganda. And then you guys are literally doing the work for them. And then you want to claim to be left. You want to claim to be left-leaning. You want to claim that you're anti-MAGA and anti-Trump and whatever. And then you think the fucking same things that they think.
And I don't think this is like a far-fetched conspiracy at all. Now, you might say, oh, dude, who cares about Drew Affuello, or who cares about this person, that person? These are all content creators. Fuck them. Here's the thing. It extends far beyond that. And if you're in this community, if you're in my community, especially for a long enough time, you've already seen exactly how this has happened. There are so many people on the quote unquote, like broader liberal spectrum, self-identifying liberals, apoliticals, people who are like kind of woke, who just have this revulsion towards everything that this community demonstrates, everything that this community stands for. Where did that come from? It came from a lot of slop tubers and a lot of apolitical content creators for the last couple of years actively putting the beat on anything that I represent as being like a manifestation of woke. Okay? People without realizing assume right-wing positions. People without realizing take contradictory positions that are antagonistic to their broader worldview, especially when they're like very open-minded to certain concepts, certain socially progressive concepts, and they end up taking like a very reactionary stance. And I think that slowly but surely feeds into young Gen Z people, apolitical people becoming dumbass chuds, okay? And it's somewhat of a terrifying predicament. That's what I'm actually worried about. I'm very worried about it because I'm worried that this happens in the T space as well. This happens in the fandoms as well. Snark is another great example of this. Like, there are so many different avenues where people end up falling victim to reactionary propaganda, reactionary points of view, even if they themselves are like, even if they are personally not chuds, right? They're woke, broadly speaking, but they fucking constantly repeat.
You might have seen my recent interview with them.
How liberals and how leftists sometimes even don't realize what kind of media they're consuming and get fucking duped by it. And they end up developing resentment towards their allies, resentment towards certain positions. We are not gracious enough. We are not gracious enough to people on our side, people closest to us. And we end up dropping the ball a little bit. We're getting duped. We're getting manipulated by right-wing algorithms designed by sometimes, pro-Trump and oftentimes pro-Trump and pro-Israel billionaires. Zionist billionaires who are pro-Trump have literally purchased all of our social media algorithms, and I think they're tweaking it. They're tweaking those algorithms to make us divided. They're tweaking those algorithms to make us fight one another. This is what the Republican strategy is. Okay? The Republican strategy is very clearly in the midterm elections, not just to like center me as like the figurehead of the Democratic Party or something like that. Their goal is to divide the base of the party. Their goal is to divide the base of the party between the left activist base that clearly is agitated, clearly wants change, and have actually showed up in massive numbers so far in the primaries all around the country. The Republicans are going to try to go to those people, our community, and tell those people, look how bad the establishment Democrats are. And then in Michigan, they're going to do the exact opposite. But in Michigan, the GOP is trying to keep moderates at home. And in Wisconsin, they're trying to keep the left at home by, doing clip compilations. And that's exactly what's going on. That is the message. That is the strategy. Okay? Don't just assume that it's not going to work, by the way. That would be silly. Okay? That would be silly. Do not underestimate our opposition. They are smart. They are conniving.